Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. Today is February 1st, 2023, and today is Wednesday morning. Big day ahead of us. But before we start, the highlights of the day. Markets lull. Markets are quiet right before the FOMC tonight. Now, looking at the major economic events scheduled for today. So we're starting at 5 p.m. South African time. Out of the United States, we have an ISM manufacturing PMI numbers coming out. And then 9 p.m., everybody's been waiting for this. The FOMC rate statement for the first of 2023. Big event tonight, so just expect it. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, Canadian dollar strengthens versus the USD. And looking at the indices, the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones both bounced. Looking at commodities, gold and oil also bounced. And looking at the stocks, they bounced right before this number. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin unchanged going into this number, but it's sure to be a big day. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So taking a look at the USD Canadian dollar first, and this is really very important because it is developing a downwards momentum, meaning the dollar, US dollar, is getting weaker versus the Canadian dollar as it goes closer to 1-to-1. Now, we are in this channeling down mode. We do have a support level right here at 133, so you do want to anticipate. And this could get stronger, and especially since we're seeing this kind of turn. But it's usually the Canadian dollar, not usually, but in this case, it's the Canadian dollar getting stronger, because when we look at the other pairs, they're just mildly stronger. Okay, the Euro USD did bounce yesterday, but nothing significant. 108.55 to 108.75, that's not a big deal. It's a 20-pip move, so nothing to really write home about there. Now, I do anticipate that the markets will be aggressively volatile today with this number coming out of the United States, and I do expect it to be across the board, meaning the dollar is going to be whatever dollar denomination you're trading, that's going to be very volatile. The Dow Jones is going to be volatile, and some of the stocks in the US are going to be volatile as well. So looking at commodities first, okay, let's take a look at gold. Gold really unchanged as it bounced from yesterday. It hit a 1903, it did sell off, and then it came right back. You could see that bounce. So there was a recovery there. And looking at crude oil, also recovery there after tanking to $76 a barrel. So we bounced over $3. That's a decent move for crude oil. Now, jumping into the US markets, let's take a look at the Dow Jones. Did rally yesterday from 33,700-ish level all the way up to 34,000. Okay, a decent move on the upside, and so did the NASDAQ. It did gain yesterday, as you can see that there quite clearly. We're trading above 12,000. Now, again, looking at the individual stocks, they did gain across the board. Microsoft went back to 247. Facebook also rallied back to 148 after that sell-off. If we look at Apple, also bouncing here, not big, but bouncing nonetheless. Okay, and also did Intel. Okay, so across the board, we saw some movement on the upside. Now today, okay, with the FOMC rate statement coming out, well, there's one or two possibilities. Okay, first of all, if they're going to increase interest rates, just the question is how much? 25 basis points or half a basis point. The more aggressive it's going to be, the worse the situation is. Okay, the less aggressive it's going to be, and they kind of anticipated that it's going to be less aggressive because they're kind of fanning some of the concerns that everybody has about the interest rates, the inflation rate being so high relatively. So that has also, kind of taken its way, and we're not as concerned about that as much. So I don't expect such a big jump in the interest rates. Now, looking at the last stock, Goldman Sachs. Okay, Goldman Sachs is one of the biggest financial institutions in the United States. It's trading close to its highs, 365, its highs 419, and it did bounce yesterday. Okay, so looking at a monthly chart, this is a monthly chart, but looking at a 1 hour chart, it's close to that top of the range. But just be aware of it, okay? If it does tank, it'll, and just know its levels, okay? It has been trading in tremendous volatility, so it has been in a wide range. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, nothing really to write home about, 23,000, not much of a change there. But again, if you do decide to trade today, you know my rules, which is trade smaller, trade responsible, make sure you have stop losses there in place, okay, and just expect a lot of volatility. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.